Adrien Broner versus Marcus Maidana. This fight is not 100% confirmed yet, but it probably will go ahead because Marcus Maidana recently signed with Al Heyman. And as we all know, Adrien Broner is also with Al Heyman, and both guys are promoted by Golden Boy. So more than likely, this fight will actually take place. And this is my prediction. Styles make fights. I know a lot of people say that. I know I say it a lot. I know some people are probably sick of hearing it, but it's so true. Styles really do make fights. Boxing is chess, it's not checkers. It's rock, paper, scissors. All right? One style does not trump all styles. Yeah, that's how boxing is. It's not straightforward. And I think this fight will be a great example of how the saying, styles make fights, really does hold a lot of water and truth. All right? Now, Adrien Broner had problems with Ponce de Leon. A lot of people felt he lost that fight. He also had problems with Paulie Malignaggi. Again, a lot of people felt he lost that fight. But Marcus Maidana don't fight like Ponce de Leon. And he don't fight like Paulie Malignaggi. Ponce de Leon is a southpaw. He's smaller than Maidana. He's got quicker hands than Maidana. And for my money, he's more crafty than Maidana, right? He's more clever and sneaky in setting up his power punches than Maidana is. And obviously, like I say, he's a southpaw. So the punches are coming from a completely different angle, especially for a guy like Broner, who don't move his feet much. To try and defend a southpaw left hand, especially a sneaky left hand that a guy like Ponce de Leon throws, is more difficult because he's not moving his feet. So he's just relying on blocking the left hand with his right glove. Right? The punches are coming from a very awkward angle, you know, with very awkward timing. Right? From a little guy like Ponce de Leon, who, like I say, is quicker than Maidana. I mean, he's not quick for a super featherweight, but compared to Maidana, who's a welterweight, he's quick. All right? So Ponce de Leon don't fight like Maidana. He don't. I know he's unorthodox and some of his punches look ugly, but like I say, he's a lot more clever in the way that he delivers them punches. All right? He's very crafty and sneaky with that left hand. All right? Whereas Maidana's just more of a rudimentary come forward pressure fighter. There's nothing sneaky about what Maidana does. He doesn't try and set up his power punch in some sneaky way and catch you off guard. He don't do that. He comes straight forward. You know exactly what he's doing every second he's in the ring. Whereas Ponce de Leon is crafty. All right. So I don't look at that fight and, you know, read anything into the Ponce de Leon fight when I'm assessing Broner against Maidana. I don't look at it at all. Then we got the Malignaggi fight. Again, Malignaggi, nothing like Marcus Maidana. Malignaggi's a mover. Right? He's got way faster hands than Maidana. He's taller than Maidana. He's got much quicker feet than Maidana. He moves all around the ring. He makes it difficult, I mean, for a guy like Adrien Broner to set his feet and get any power in his punches because he's constantly having to chase the guy around the ring. Now, some guys are able to get power in their punches while they're chasing you around the ring. Yeah? But Broner is a guy who's used to fighting flat-footed. So for him, it was very difficult. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Broner can punch at 147 pounds. I think it's an open question. But I'm not going to dismiss his power at 147 pounds just yet, because even though Malignaggi has been stopped by people like Khan and Hatton, he wasn't blown out in those fights, right? Those guys had to wear him down gradually over a long period to get him out of there, right? Malignaggi's always had a good chin. He's always been durable. Yeah, that's one thing I will say. So the fact that Broner wasn't able to stop him, I'm not sure it's that significant. We'll have to wait and see how Broner is in the future at 147 pounds. But that fight alone does not convince me that Broner can't punch at welterweight. Right? Not that fight alone. So anyway, yeah, Malignaggi, totally different style to Maidana. Totally different puzzle to solve. Totally different equation. Right? He does certain things much better than Maidana. And Maidana does certain things better than him. Right? But that particular style, Broner couldn't deal with. So, Maidana's style. How do I think Broner's going to deal with Maidana's style? Well, Maidana is most vulnerable on the inside. That's where he's most, not on the outside, on the inside is where Maidana is most vulnerable. On the outside, if you see Maidana against people like Victor Kayo, Amir Khan, he was able to avoid getting hit clean on the outside. Yeah? He avoided getting hit clean on the outside against those guys. They was mostly hitting gloves and arms of Maidana when they were throwing the shots from long range. Yeah? When Maidana got up close, he had a field day against Victor Kayo and Amir Khan because neither of those guys can fight on the inside. Neither of those guys can block what Maidana was doing in counter. All right? And like I say, Maidana is most vulnerable on the inside. If you look at Maidana against Victor Ortiz or Maidana against Eric Morales, those were two guys who were able to beat Maidana to the punch up close. Yeah? Because that's where Maidana is most vulnerable. When Maidana's on the outside, he just covers up, he goes into his shell, and he just tries to stalk you and get close to you. So it's hard to hit him clean. But when he gets up close, he cranks those arms back and gets ready to throw those big wide hooks. And it's at that moment that he's vulnerable. That's when he leaves himself open, and that's when you can get him. Yeah, and if you look at the Morales fight, that's exactly what happened in that fight. Yeah, Maidana was cranking his big hooks, and Morales was able to beat him to the punch or counter very effectively. Same in the Victor Ortiz fight. Now, Victor Ortiz got a bit reckless in that fight himself. But if you actually look at the first couple rounds, the exchanges, all right, Victor Ortiz was the one who was beating Maidana to the punch most of the time in the exchanges. When they were both throwing punches at the same time, it was usually Ortiz that was landing first because Ortiz's punches were shorter, yeah, faster, thrown with better technique, whereas Maidana's were big looping wide shots, right? And so basically Victor Ortiz was punching in between Maidana's big wide swings, yeah? And like I say, Morales managed to do this even more effectively than Ortiz did. Now, that's what I see Adrien Broner doing in this fight. I think Adrien Broner will be able to stand right in front of Maidana. And as Maidana throws those big swings, Adrien Broner is going to be able to counter. He's going to be able to punch in between those swings because he's got better technique. He throws shorter punches. He's got faster hands. He's not going to have to look for Marcus Maidana. Maidana's right in front of him. Maidana's not sneaky with his punches. Everything is very deliberate. Maidana has improved his technique a bit with his new trainer. There's no question about that. He has improved it a bit. He throws a lot more jabs than he used to throw, and he'll need the jab against Adrien Broner. He'll need the jab because he's at a speed disadvantage. So, he has made a few improvements here and there. He has tightened up his punches a bit, but not that much. Especially if you saw in the Josecito Lopez fight. He came out there and tried to be disciplined and, tighten up his technique and all that kind of stuff against Josecito. But once the going got tough, once he got cracked with a few shots, he was pretty much back to the old Marcus Maidana before long. All right. And that's what I see in this fight with Adrien Broner, man. I think that in a lot of ways, he's tailor-made for Adrien Broner because he's not going to do anything that is going to take Broner out of his comfort zone. Right? He's not a southpaw. He's not sneaky with his punches like a Ponce de Leon. He's very slow. He's going to stand right in front of Broner. He's going to give Broner all kinds of openings for Broner's counters. Right? In a lot of ways, he's tailor-made for Broner. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that he has going for him in this fight is his power. There's nothing else. Right? He's not a particularly savvy guy, a sneaky guy, anything like that. He just has his power. And that's what he's going to be relying on, his power. Now, if the power don't work, if Broner is able to block the shots, what's he going to do? Right? He's not going to old man. Because that's basically what Ponce de Leon did. He old manned Broner in that fight. He was a bit savvy and awkward and all them kind of things. And he just made it difficult for Broner to settle into his boxing. Maidana's not that kind of guy. He's not savvy like that. He's not sneaky with his shots like that. Right? He comes forward and he's very deliberate what he's going to do. There's nothing sneaky about it. He's very rudimentary. So how is he going to win this fight if he's not able to hurt Broner and intimidate him with the power? How is he going to? I don't see it. I think Broner's going to be able to counter this guy to death. He'll be able to punch in between Maidana's punches, in between those wide swings. I'm not saying Maidana don't have a chance, right? Because at the end of the day, Broner is also unproven at welterweight. I think he's unproven full stop. I mean, a lot of people have overrated Adrien Broner. A lot of people have been putting him on their pound for pound list. I mean, talk about overhyping someone. Adrien Broner is a good fighter. He definitely has his flaws. He's definitely not the new Mayweather. And in my opinion, he's definitely not the new pound for pound king. But what I believe he is good enough to beat Marcus Maidana. I believe he has the style to beat Maidana, and Maidana has a style that complements Adrien Broner's skill set. I think Maidana's style plays perfectly into Broner's skill set. And I think Maidana's gonna have a tough time, man. I see it being similar to the Morales fight, with obviously Broner being Morales, but because he's younger, fresher, more stronger than Morales and has possibly a better defense than Morales, I think he's going to do better than Morales did. And I see him probably taking the decision over Maidana, but I wouldn't even rule out a stoppage. Seriously, I wouldn't rule out a stoppage. I know, again, Broner hasn't really proved his power at 147, but Malignaggi is a very durable guy. All right? So I wouldn't necessarily write off his power just based on the Malignaggi fight. So him stopping Maidana, I think it's possible, but more than likely, I think he'll probably beat Maidana on points. So I'm going to take Adrien Broner to win a 12-round decision over Marcus Maidana. I'm sure a lot of people will disagree. They've been disagreeing on Facebook. It's all good, man. We don't have to agree. We're all going to find out the truth, if and when the fight takes place anyway. So disagreeing is cool, man. The only thing that matters is what takes place in the ring anyway. So disagree all you like, man. Just keep it respectful. You know what I mean? We'll keep it moving. So yeah, man. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about this fight. This is Hatman. I'm out.